Now you got me all emotional. Well,
that's a really interesting question.
it's a great question. I'm not in competition with other people. I'm in competition with myself.
I mean, I think I'm gonna finish ahead of him, but I'm not gonna like hold it against him or anything. Like, I don't know, he's the reason I'm running it. So to have it work both ways like that, it feels like it was something that like the universe had in the works. It was something I wanted to do, and the timing of it in my life with like my mom's cancer, and I guess the timing with his life and like wanting to get back to it, I don't know, it just worked out. It's one of those funny things in life. I don't know.
I mean, truth be told, like, I don't look at myself as a real estate agent that is successful. I don't look and say, I'm super successful. To me, I'm always at ground zero. I'm always at a zero number where I have to be able to go get more. So I can go get a home sold today or get another home in escrow today and feel good about that. But I come into the office tomorrow and I'm back at zero. That's what separates, I guess, great agents from average agents, or ones that are successful from ones that just do an average amount of business each year. It's not an easy business. I mean, it's just problem solving all day long, really is what it is. It's nonstop problem solving. And the agent that could generate the most amount of leads and solve the most problems is going to be the most successful. I kind of feel like I'm at that point in my life again where I need a kick in the butt. And it's always since my dad passed away in 2012 unexpectedly of a heart attack, and I ran my last marathon in 2012 with my dad, and it was just 2 months before he passed away. We ran together. You know, I didn't want to run for a while. It was like, I think when you're running, you think a lot. You know, it becomes like an emotional kind of almost spiritual experience, especially when you're going on these 9, 10, 15, 20 mile runs. You look at the world a little bit differently after you lose your parents. And I think time, you know, having kids, you start to realize like, I'm not going to be here forever. So, you know, I'm 45 and kind of had that, I guess, coming to Jesus moment where I'm like, I need to do this now. Otherwise, you know, I have back problems. I have all sorts of ailments. I'm like, I'll regret this. If I'm laying in bed on my deathbed and I didn't run another race, you know, in honor of my father and do something, it would be a big regret. So I had been thinking about it since he passed away. So
That's a really interesting question. I think there's a lot of different kinds of success.
I think success is really setting a goal for yourself that is not something that's necessarily easy to achieve, but something that you really strive for, that you really have to push yourself beyond what you've done in the past. And it's at a point where you reach a level of success is where you look back and you say, damn, I really surprised myself. I got to my goal and more.
Would I call Andrew Dinsky a successful realtor? Yes, I would. I mean, in 2023, he did about a little under $140 million in sales with a little over 60 transactions. And this year, I think he's projected to do about $155 million with around 80 transactions, still pending at the end of the year. Those numbers are only bigger if you include like all the volume that the team has done on their own. But I would call that successful.
What do you think it was this year that like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it again? Was there an inciting incident? Was there a moment you're like...
It was really Sophie on the team, you know, kind of like in the way that I got my dad to run in 2006. You know, Sophie really wanted to do a marathon.
I feel like it works both ways. Like he's kind of the reason I'm running it. I wouldn't be doing this, you know, if he hadn't also talked about the Boston Marathon, if he hadn't had the experience he had, and he hadn't been the one to say like, yeah, we're gonna do it and make it feel like something that was like really accomplishable. Me and Mark and Sarah are gonna do LA, and then me and Andrew are gonna do Boston. So it's fun. It's good to have that environment and to have that accountability. You come in the morning and it's like, did you do your run today?
You know, they're the young kids on the team. So they kind of like inspired me to say, okay, you know what? I've been thinking about this for so long, now I'm gonna do it. And part of running was really wanting to raise a lot of money for charity. You know, so that's really important to me. So, you know, running with Teddy's team, who's an organization, a fantastic organization that raises money for heart disease, raising awareness for heart disease and stroke and supporting survivors. You know, it just feels good.
Dana-Farber Cancer Institute is in Boston, and they do a lot of like innovative research and treatment for different cancer types. For somebody who, like my mom, who had kind of a rare form of cancer, you know, their research that they do can like makes all the difference for a lot of patients.
It's truly about just never quitting and being super stubborn. If you look at this business as I'm gonna do well in a year or two, I mean, you can do it, but you need to have a time horizon of at least 5, 6, 7, 10 years. I look back and I started, 13 years ago, really? And I've grown a nice business since I joined. But when I joined, didn't have a lot of business for probably 5, 6, 7 years. It's grinding it out and just sticking with it. And that's really half the battle. Most people quit. And right now, I mean, we had a market boom from end of 2012 up until, you can argue, I guess, 22. And this year has been really tough. 2024 we've seen some market changes. And to my estimation, we've seen somewhere between a 5 and 20% price change depending on the area in the San Fernando Valley and the market that we work in. And that has made it really tough to put deals together. And a lot of people are leaving the business. You know, people feel like the world's ending. And, you know, I actually like that opportunity. To me, it's like, I don't want everyone working in the business and things being easy. I like the challenges. And this is where I think I double down on my effort and go for it.
I mean, from his perspective, I think the minute you tell yourself you're successful, you settle in a certain point, that probably makes you a little bit complacent. And the one thing that he is not is complacent. Like training for anything, you know, you hit certain goals and you hit certain benchmarks, but there's a lot of life left to live, a lot of finish lines to cross, a lot of escrows to open, a lot of sold signs to hang up. Yeah.
And I generally just like to do hard shit. Like I don't know why. I like to try to learn new things and, you know, challenge myself. And I want to always chase, you know, more than what I've done. And I have a plan though to do it. So, you know, it's clearly mapped out. I don't just write down, I want to do this and just hope for the best. You know, you really have to have a roadmap.
Yeah, like me standing here holding it in my with the smoke, yeah. No, that's part of it, like being like, yeah, obviously we're not.
This is real. This is the real sun.
Real, yeah.
It's the sun, I swear.